Okay, so get this. We're diving into something a little different this time. Journal prompts.
Interesting.
Yeah, not just any prompts. We're talking about 50 journal prompts for those reflecting on June.
Okay.
From Lestallion.
Lestallion. Yeah, I've seen these.
They're kind of interesting. Right.
Yeah.
And I know what you're thinking. It's September.
Right.
Why are we thinking about June?
Yeah.
Well, that's the beauty of this deep dive. Stick with us.
These prompts, they're not really about June, are they? They're more like a framework or a template for self-reflection no matter what month it is.
Exactly.
And, this structured approach to like processing your experiences and then setting intentions based on that, that can have some pretty intriguing psychological benefits.
Totally.
Even if you only do it in short bursts.
Yeah, we're basically uncovering a cheat sheet for self-awareness.
I like that.
And I don't know about you, but I love a good shortcut.
Absolutely.
So one thing I found interesting in going through these is Lestallion's use of really evocative language.
Okay.
It's like they nudge you to think more deeply without overcomplicating things.
I like how they do that.
Yeah, so for example, in the June Memories section, they don't just ask, what did you do? You know? It's more like, what was the funniest thing that happened? Or how did the weather impact your activities?
Yeah, there's a real strategy to that.
Oh, totally.
Because when you connect emotions to your memories, even those little details like the weather, they become way more vivid and easier to remember.
It's so true.
And here's a thing that helps you learn from them.
Oh.
It strengthens your mindfulness, which is essential for growth.
You know what? I honestly don't remember every detail from June, but I can tell you how that humid air just made everything feel heavy.
Yeah.
Those little details tied to an emotion make those memories so strong.
That's exactly how it works. Our brains latch onto those emotional cues.
It's fascinating.
And then when you revisit those memories, it activates the same neural pathways, making them stronger and easier to recall. And that helps us understand our own behavioral patterns.
Which helps us make better choices.
Exactly.
It all comes together.
It does. But you know what? There's one area that a lot of people tend to avoid when reflecting.
With that.
Challenges.
Yeah. Even the thought of June's challenges right now,
right.
It's a bit much.
Yeah.
But I will say, Lestallion handles it really well.
They do in that June challenges section. The prompts are really good because they reframe those perceived failures into learning opportunities.
Yeah, and the way they phrase them makes it less intimidating.
Oh, absolutely.
Like they don't just say, list your biggest failures.
Right. Ouch.
Nobody wants to do that.
Come on.
Yeah.
It's more like, what did you struggle with at work or school?
Much better.
Right. Or how did you manage stress? I mean, these are things we all experience.
Exactly. And just the act of writing about these things, even if you don't have solutions yet, can be really therapeutic in itself.
Totally.
It really is like processing those emotions and getting them out there.
Yeah, it's like talking it out with a friend, but instead of just venting, these prompts actually help you process and learn from it. They do. And now let's switch gears from challenges to achievements.
Okay.
Lestallion has this whole section on your June achievements.
Yeah.
But it goes beyond just like the big obvious wins, you know?
Yeah, and this part is so important for our listeners, I think.
Right.
Especially, people who are constantly striving for progress.
Absolutely.
It's so easy to get caught up in the daily grind and overlook those small wins.
Especially with the busy schedule. You're so focused on the finish line that you kind of forget to appreciate the journey.
And all those little milestones along the way.
Exactly.
Which is exactly what these prompts make you celebrate.
Yes. They want you to acknowledge those smaller achievements, those things that often get overlooked.
It's so true.
Like, did you finish any important tasks? Things like that.
Yeah.
Or what skills did you improve? These are all about recognizing your effort and your growth, even if they don't feel monumental at the time.
It's so true. We tend to just downplay our accomplishments, We do. But acknowledging even those small achievements can actually really boost your motivation.
It really can. It's like giving yourself permission to celebrate and say, hey, you know what I'm doing all right?
Yeah.
It's positive reinforcement in action.
I love that.
And often those small wins, they create this ripple effect, building momentum for the bigger achievements later on.
I like that.
And not only that, but celebrating those wins can help combat negative self-talk.
Oh, for sure.
Which I think we all struggle with.
Absolutely.
At times.
Yeah. So speaking of achievements and work and all that, this next part really resonated with me, where Lestallion wraps up with your June reflections and planning for post-June.
Okay.
It's like they're tying it all together.
Absolutely. Lestallion highlights this really important cyclical nature of reflection and planning.
Yeah.
It's not just about looking back on June, it's about how those reflections actually shape your future.
It's true.
And these prompts, they capture that bigger picture mentality.
Yeah, they do. They prompt you to think about things like, how has your life changed since last June?
Yeah.
Or what habits do you want to build? Or even, how will you prepare for the end of summer?
Right.
It's less about June and more about your overall trajectory at that point.
Exactly. And it shows how these journal prompts offer value beyond just a single month. They're like a framework for this ongoing self-reflection and growth.
I like that.
No matter what it is you're focused on.
It's funny, isn't it, how these simple little journal prompts can really make you think about things.
Yeah, it's true.
Like somebody just handed you a telescope for your own life.
It really is. And you know what I've found?
What's that?
Sometimes those small insights, those little aha moments,
Yeah.
they're way more valuable than like trying to force these big sweeping changes,
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
But how often do we actually take the time for this kind of reflection?
Right. It's easy to forget.
So easy to get caught up in the day-to-day and just completely forget to just like hit pause for a second.
Yeah, you just get swept up in everything.
Totally. And these prompts are like this, they're like a gentle nudge to slow down.
They are.
Pay attention to what we're actually experiencing.
And for people who are constantly on the go, like most of our listeners probably,
Yeah.
you really got to find ways to integrate this into your routine.
It's essential, and I bet you our listeners are thinking like, okay, this is all great.
When am I supposed to do this?
Right. When am I going to find time to journal every day? But that's the beauty of this.
Exactly.
Lestallion's approach doesn't have to take hours.
Yeah.
Even a few minutes can make a difference.
Absolutely. It's quality over quantity.
Right.
Even if you just set aside a few minutes each week to think about these prompts,
yeah,
you'd be surprised what comes up.
Totally. So as we wrap up our deep dive into these journal prompts, what would you say is the main takeaway for our listeners?
I think it's the power of making time for reflection. Scheduling it in, even if it's just for a few minutes every month.
Yeah.
And these prompts are great because they show that even simple questions can really help you understand yourself better.
And that self-awareness, it's so important for growth, isn't it?
It's crucial for any kind of personal growth.
Like taking that step back, seeing the bigger picture.
Exactly.
And using that to move forward.
With intention.
Yeah, exactly. And for our listeners who want to continue this journey of self-discovery,
yes,
I highly recommend checking out Lestallion's website.
There's tons of great stuff there.
They've got so many resources.
Yeah.
So many prompts. So there you have it. Folks who knew journal prompts could be so insightful.
Right.
Remember, self-reflection doesn't have to be this big, scary thing.
Not at all.
It can be as simple as exploring a few thought-provoking questions. Until next time, keep exploring, keep reflecting, keep asking those questions that lead to a deeper understanding of yourselves and the world around you.